Welcome to the Pentacast podcast. My name is Andrew Bella, your host. Alongside me is my good friend Ryan Sellers.
It's good to be with you, fellas.
Yes, well, Josh Kimbrell on the couch, and you're all alone, Josh.
Yep.
He's used to it.
Yeah.
Of course. Here we go.
So let's just jump right into it. Okay, can we do that? Can we just jump right into it? You know what? Kill the music. Let's just jump right into it today, okay?
Yes, sir.
We've had a lot of backlash.
It's been a huge public outcry.
An uproar.
Yeah.
Of the way, let me tell you, we are good to our employees.
We are.
We are good to our workers.
We don't pay them, but hey.
Yeah, well, we don't have any money to pay them yet.
That's true.
Until we make it big. So there's been this outcry of the way that you've been treated on the podcast
In defense of Joshua.
Rightfully so.
Whoa. So you're telling me that these are merited? That you've actually been treated wrong?
Dude.
File a complaint.
With who? With you? Hey, Andrew's.
You're currently in the HR department.
Go ahead.
I've been treated like I haven't been given the respect.
Okay.
Has to be earned. Keep going.
Who? So y'all earn the respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From who? Y'all are HR.
I bought the equipment.
That doesn't mean you earn the respect.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Get my pronoun right.
So they, them.
He.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think you've you've absolutely treated me terrible.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, in all reality, there's people that are really concerned about your mental state. Basically, they've been watching the podcast and listening, and they are worried because something that you're giving off this vibe that you might have mental problems because they're worried about you mentally.
That I might have mental problems because of y'all?
Because of the way we've been treating you.
Dude.
And I want you to come on the air, and I want you to tell them your mental problems had
nothing to do with y'all.
Are much deeper rooted than us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're giving you a chance to respond.
That's right.
I appreciate, you looking out for me.
Who are you talking to? Us?
Just people in general. My supporters.
Brother Kevin Vickers?
Just my supporters.
Okay. Your peeps?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for responding.
Yeah, I was getting into it, but you cut me off like you always do.
Okay, go ahead. I'll be on my best behavior this episode.
All right. Well, I appreciate the support. Listen, I'm just defending myself because obviously, like y'all, you literally don't change outside of here. Matter of fact, you're probably nicer to me on here than you are outside of this.
And so people should be grateful.
For what?
That we're actually nicer to you on the podcast. Is this your final response?
Yes, my paper's been submitted.
Okay. Ryan, when it comes to this allegation that we might be a little hard on
Fake news.
Josh, obviously fake news, would you like to respond?
Well, I recently went out of town to another state. And while I was in that state, I saw someone I knew. They also know Josh. And they, too, were highly upset with how we treat him.
Please name this human being.
I will once the episode's off the air.
Okay.
But, I mean, I didn't confess that we were going to stop.
No, don't lie to him.
No.
Dude.
The truth, maybe, do you have an official statement drawn up?
I have fans.
I do.
Fans across the nation? Dude.
State lines. He went to Alabama.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, my goodness.
It is Alabama.
You're not, oh, dude, Hawaii? No.
No.
Dude, it's still
Yes, you have a huge following, and you've never met any of these
I'm
people.
like a shepherd, dude. Just got my lambs with me.
Have you ever read the scripture about the blind leading the blind?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Do you have an official statement?
I do. I want to give it because it's going to, my statement will segue into what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Right. Go for it.
My official statement is this. To comment on the way that we talk or treat a fellow brother in any way other than good humor if you think we're doing anything more than that, well, you just wound up a little too tight. Okay? The title of this episode is What's Wrong with America Today? There's a lot wrong with America today. What's wrong with the world today? I'll tell you what it is. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody wins. You want to be a girl? You can be a girl. You want to be a boy? You can be a boy. You want to swim for Penn State and have all your genetics male and swim with the girls
And blow them out of the water.
and blow, yeah,
Literally.
blow them out of the water. Win by what? 38 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, won by 38 seconds. No one had a chance, and you can't say anything to them because you're going to offend somebody. Why is everyone so offended? What's wrong with America today? What's wrong with the world today? It's that we would rather focus on what we get offended on.
We would rather focus on
Now,
feelings, not facts.
if you're heading this up, you're really going to offend a lot of your followers.
No, I'm just saying, you're focusing on feelings, not facts.
Yes.
Hey, dude, hey, I'm telling you, my sheep, we're a tight-knit squad. Okay?
Well,
But you think about
keep
this.
going, Josh. I mean, what's
Go
your
ahead.
opinion? I mean, really, I seriously, I want to know your opinion.
My opinion on what everybody's doing. Like, everybody's worried about, like, oh, what if they think about me, or how to, it's just not. It's not what it used to be.
All right, bring it down to a personal level. I know that we're hard on you at times. I'm
Why
hard
are you hard on him?
because I love him, and he makes it really easy.
Josh,
and he
what have I told
handles-
you? Why am I hard on you?
Because you hate me.
Okay.
No. So,
At work, when I'm getting on to you about things that I want done, okay, the reason why people listen to this podcast, the reason why they like it, or what they tell me, is, hey, I love the real conversation. I love the reality of, hey, you guys are just everyday guys trying to make it to heaven. And that's what this podcast is about. And we try to get as many people as we can on to share their stories, like a brother Jeff Crawley and so many others that have been on recently and through the years, to give their stories, to realize, hey, life's not perfect. Sometimes you don't win the trophy. Sometimes God doesn't give you the healing that you're looking for. Sometimes that person does pass away. Life's not fair. Get over it. Why am I hard on you at work? It's because I want you to have that realization that not everything's going to go your way.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be tough.
Easy.
And guess what? There's nobody in the world that I know who has the right mentality to face that other than Josh Kimbrell.
Yeah.
Because you have this mentality of no matter. I saw it today. We're recording today, and we work today. And you answered the phone, and I thought about it immediately. I was like, "There's that rock star attitude." Somebody called. He called for an update on a car from one of the mechanics, and I heard that mechanic just, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry I offended you. I was just checking on it. Appreciate it, bro." And just had a perfect attitude about it. Never phased him.
Right.
Whereas me and Ty, because me and Ty are very similar. I'm already planning on how I can destroy that man. Like I told Ty, me and him laugh about it. I'm like, for whatever reason, the way I'm wired is my finger is always hovering over the self-destruct button, and I will press it at any moment, and I do not care. Like, and Ty's like, man, I'm the same way. Josh, you're like, dude, bro, dude.
oh, okay. I just, there's no reason to be like, I just love just to laugh and make fun of people and like.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, you let me finish.
You like to make fun of people
You
as
offended-
well?
You just offended me.
Yes.
And
I
your
like-
followers.
Yes, I like to make fun of people, and with what happened today, like them mechanics, like if they ever get mad at me, like I don't care, like dude, they get mad at me, I'm gonna make them madder because
You don't care.
Now your followers are getting very mad
Now
at you right now,
listen,
Josh,
listen.
because you are not the man that they are propping up.
listen,
Right.
listen,
You're disappointing a lot of people right
listen,
And I'm really happy.
now. I am too.
like the people at work. Okay, I know. I know that I can upset some people or make them uncomfortable. just by being stupid for no reason. But like in the sense you were saying, like, but it gets you what you need. Like if I started yelling back at him, that wouldn't solve nothing. But you know, you just sit there and you let them. They can talk and they can pound on you, whatever. You know, oh, you're an idiot, blah blah blah. You can say, all right, hey, appreciate it. Hey, I love you. And like, what are they gonna do?
It destroys them.
Like they can't be like.
You want to know why? Because everybody is jealous of one thing in today's world. We're all jealous of people who are having a better time than us. Why do we have Instagrams? Why do we have Facebooks? Because they went where? Yeah, man.
With who?
Ryan went to Chattanooga and stayed in a tree house. Man, they got a new car. Why do you think all the church people listen here, okay? You that are listening and you that are viewing, you mark it down. You see one of your church members get a new vehicle and you see that beautiful drive-out tag on the back that lasts for 45 days, issued by whatever state you live in. And you see all the church folks get around that car, and you open the doors, and it's like dope to a dope addict. You open that door, and you're like, oh, my goodness, that's a brand new car. Oh, my word, it smells so good. You mark it down, in 2 weeks, there's going to be new cars all over that parking lot, scattered around. Happens at our church. Every time somebody gets a new car, everybody gets a new car. Why? Because we always have to keep up with everybody. I want an award. Well, it's not fair for Josh to get picked on because I was picked on. Well, guess what? There's people that live their whole life that never have to deal with what I had to deal with. Ty's not here tonight, but I think about him. There's people that, Ryan, you've never had to deal with what Ty has had to deal with. But guess what? He's never had to deal with what you've had to deal with. But guess what? We're all in the same boat. Yeah. Life is not fair. It's not fun. Most of the time, it is fun. It's a blast. And the reason why we want to be around somebody like you, Josh, is because I'm trying to study you. The reason why I make fun of you is I'm like, okay, so he's not mad about that. He's not mad about that. And I like to have a good time as well. But really what I'm doing is nothing phases him. Yeah. He just knows how to have a good time. And really, if you want to be truthful about it, we're envious of it.
My thing is like how you were saying, like, life ain't fair, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get my healing. I look at it like, God's will is going to be done. So that was his will that you didn't get your healing, or it didn't go that way. Okay. It wasn't, like in the sense of, I'm not saying, it just didn't happen. Well, like I'm saying, like in the sense of like, you didn't get healed. Okay. That was God's will. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. That it's better that happened than you getting healed.
Right.
Yep.
Because that's not what he wanted, or that he's going to do what he wants. His will is going to be done, whether it's you or anybody.
You know what I hear right now? I hear people listening to this and went like, man, don't scare my kids. Don't scare, my teens. Don't scare my young married couples, and thinking life is going to be terribly hard. It is terribly hard.
My thing is like that helps me have a great outlook on life. It's like literally, if I die tomorrow, it was God's will for me to die tomorrow.
Like if you had a good life?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I guess not.
But you get what I'm saying. Like if I'm sitting here and dreading, like, oh man, I'm so worried about everything, like I feel like, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation, but if I got, an illness that was terminal or something like that, I'd be like, well, if God heals me, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's his will. And
I feel the same way.
I mean, like,
I might feel that way, but I'm not going to comment on something like that because I've never faced it before.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying, that's why I'm saying I've never faced it. But like in anything, like say.
Okay, the reason why I'm not going to comment on like a terminal illness or something like that, which we just, lost one of the best men that we've ever known at our church,
right.
Who at his funeral, they proclaimed the peace of God that was all over him throughout the whole situation. And I can only see that because he was such a God-fearing man. He was such a good, godly individual.
Yeah, consistent.
Yes, consistent, which has been a word I've used all day today, being consistent. He's faced death better than a lot of people that I've seen face death. And who I think about when you say, well, how do you get through this thing? Well, this is what I would do. Me and Ryan had the privilege of sitting down and talking to one of the most unique and awesome and amazing individuals we've ever met. And her name is Heather Cooney. Mm-hmm. And I asked her, and Ryan asked her that point blank question, how do you even get through that? And this is what she said, you just do. Because whatever life deals you, God's going to give you the grace to get through it. She's like, I couldn't have done that. But with life hitting it at you, man, think about it. Back in May of 2015, when this nurse gives me a brochure of funeral homes that I've got to choose for my dad while he's sitting on a ventilator, and I've got to find out which one to cremate him at. I mean, people think about that, and they're like, man, that would be tough. It was, but guess what? Someone's got to do it.
Right.
So that's the kind of mentality that I think is so wrong. Man, I sound so angry, don't I? That's the mentality that I think is so rotten and it's even spilling over to the church world. Well, if you want to be a preacher, you can be a preacher. If you want to wear nice suits and go evangelize, you can wear nice suits and evangelize. If you want to be in the ensemble, we'll just get you another microphone. And guess what? God doesn't call everybody to evangelize. God does not call everybody to sing. Sometimes God calls people to do unique things. Some of the most interesting people that I've met are people that were never in the spotlight. I just had this conversation with somebody this week, Ryan, and I told him this. He was asking me if I would ever, pastor again or whatever. And pastoring the church that I pastored at was one of the, literally, I feel this way, it was one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given me. They were amazing, and I'm still friends with all of them. I love them dearly. And you visit the church now more than I get to. Mm-hmm. And I'm jealous of that.
You'll be there tomorrow night.
Because they're amazing human beings. They're wonderful, God-fearing people. I can't say enough good things about them. But so this is my future statement here now. The reason why I pinned so many roses on them is because I don't want it to be a reflection of what I'm fixing to say. He asked me, are you ever going to pastor again? I said, I sure hope not. It had nothing to do with the church because I was really a spoiled pastor. I mean, they didn't give me any problems. They were absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. I probably gave them more problems than they gave me. But the thing is this, I don't have to be number one. But even in a podcast setting, I actually enjoy it more when I'm not the one talking.
Because you're feeding.
Exactly. I like to be fed. And so this guy was like, so you don't ever want to pastor again or whatever? And I said, no, I don't get me wrong. If God calls me to do something, I want to go to heaven. I'm going to listen to the voice of God. And I hope that I can. But don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a number two. Mm-hmm. And we have trained our young people. We've trained in America. We've polluted our system. Now everybody gets an Eagle Award, or everybody gets a Golden Award. If it's, we don't have second place anymore. Everybody's first place. And you're giving them this false reality of what life is. You know what? That's why people were talking about end racism. And it's not the fact that all white people are racist. It's the fact that, and I think our friend Jonathan had the greatest statement when we did our episode when the whole George Floyd thing was going on. Mm-hmm. He said this, he said, racism will never end. He said, because racism is sin, and sin will never be eradicated until the Lord comes back. That's good. So it's not, we can't eradicate something. We can't say, well, I'll tell you, we're going to change reality so this doesn't happen anymore. Remember, if Jesus Christ was going to build his kingdom on earth, he would have done it. This place is never going to be perfect. You're going to get cheated in your life. You're going to get done wrong. I'm going to get done wrong. And guess what? Chances are we might do something that we're going to regret. But that doesn't make you a terrible human being, and it doesn't make life not worth living. It means, hey, I'm just not to heaven yet, so I'm going to enjoy the journey.
And when I do get cheated, I hope I handle it right.
Yeah.
When I do get cheated again, I hope I handle it right.
Exactly. When
it's going to happen because life is not fair. But I want to make it to heaven, and I want y'all to make it too.
Yeah.
I want everybody to make it.
It's like one of those things like, I'm never going to say never to something. I say I might not want to, or this, that, and the other, but, for you to say never, I'm never going to do that. I like, my intentions, like say my intentions are never to go do something I shouldn't be doing with God's help. With
Right.
God's helping me, I can do it. But if He
Amen.
ain't helping me on me,
Right.
Yeah, I don't trust myself.
I've been foolishly flat-footed on some things, not even spiritual things, just life things. And probably you were a part of those late night DJs conversations. And looking back, some of the stuff that I was never going to do or was so opinionated in one direction, I've changed. I've either done what I said I wouldn't do, not sin, just a certain activity.
So I'm interested.
And I feel foolish.
I'm interested to ask you this question. The stances that you were so hard on,
Right.
that you were unmovable,
Mm-hmm.
were most of those influenced by somebody or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I've learned in my life, and somebody might say, why would you ask that? What I've learned in my life is this. The hardest stances I've taken in my life are usually influenced by somebody or something. And didn't you just mean you were just talking about this? Why does everything have to be influenced by other people?
Right.
Everything you do in your life, why does it have to be influenced
Right.
by other people?
I think about that a lot in church issues. I take a certain stance or I have a certain testimony because somebody I look up to had the same testimony. There's some things that I testify to or believe that I came up with God's help in my brain, and I hope that somebody else uses that to benefit them. But if me repeating what Fred Smith taught me for the next 60 years helps somebody that's not even born yet make it to heaven, I'm going to do it.
Amen. Amen. But there's nothing wrong with having your own opinion.
Right.
But what's wrong with America? What's wrong with the world? It's not fair. It ain't fair.
If you get to the point that you're offended by the truth, you're in a sad way, and you need to change.
And that was directed towards you, Josh.
Nah, it really wasn't. Not that time. Not that time.
Yep.
We take ourselves too seriously, often.
Yeah, we do.
Josh, you're not guilty of that, and I admire that about you.
I'm taking myself too serious?
Yeah. And to the listening and viewing public that are so worried about Josh,
We are too.
we do love him. Don't tell him we said it, but we do love him, and we respect him. And now we'll never hear the end of it.
Listen, I just want it to be reflected in my pay.
Okay.
That's not going to happen.
And I want to make this public statement.
Yeah.
In the event that we start getting softer on you just to appease those that just are relentless and our ratings go down, no mercy.
Wow, so I'm just a flunky.
Preach it, brother.
So you don't need to speak that over your life.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
He's crying.
No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying tears of sadness, just tears of plum joy from how nice you've been to me.
Don't get used to it.
Well, this has been another episode of the Pentacast Podcast. We hope you enjoy and hope you have a great week.
You know why I'm wearing sunglasses? Because when the Lord comes back, it's going to be bright, so I'm just ready. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed this.
We love you. We love Josh, too. Hope you have a great week. Over and under.